Stephen Healey, and today we're here to talk to you about Belive.tv. Hello, Leland.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. The sun is shining in wonderful Wiltshire, and all is well with the world. I'd just like to welcome everyone to the show. Whilst I check that we are actually live, yeah, it shows us being live. I'm going to copy the link, and if you want to join us on the show, all you need to do is click the link, which is now in the post on Facebook. Now, we can see your comments. We are live on Belive.tv. I'd like to say hello to Wade. Good day, Wade. And anybody else who's watching, if you comment, we can see your comments and bring them live onto the screen. Now, we're going to talk today about Belive.tv, but first a shout out because Leland has secured an exclusive interview with Zafar. Would you like to tell us about that, Leland?
Absolutely. We spoke just about a week ago. Zafar and I got on brief IM to discuss the fact that there's a kind of an annual thing happening next week, which is kind of important to those who live stream, because it was then that the Facebook API came out last year during the announcement during the Facebook Developers Forum that takes place every year, which is coming up again also next week. And that was about the time that Belive hit the scene and came out onto live broadcasting. So we're going to get with Zafar and talk about how, what, when everything took place. Talk about what's exciting coming up on Belive TV and some of the things that are happening over at Facebook. So going to be an exciting show. I expect a lot of people will show up for that broadcast because Zafar and Daniel have done such a wonderful job out here at Belive producing this platform for all of those people like us that like to broadcast. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, because I've spoken to Daniel, but I've not spoken to Zafar, so it'd be good. I mean, I think he was interviewed by Karen a few months ago, and that was a very good chat. So I'm looking forward to that. Did you know that they've actually, Zafar and Daniel have known each other since school?
That's what I heard. I was asking them about that because I wasn't sure where they were located, because I have friends in Jerusalem, and I was certain at first that's where they were, but they're not. They're actually over, if I can remember correctly, I'll forget. Haifa, yes. And beautiful area over there. So I can only imagine what it must have been like growing up there. And I'm happy for them. It's a great thing to have two friends come together, create a mission goal, whatever they put together was something that was obviously on their mind for a long time. So they did it. They went out and did it. I think I'm going to have to on you though, Stephen. So
right, okay, fine. I'll carry on for a moment. I'd just like to say hello to Wade, Bill, Kapil, Dan, and Michelle. Thank you for joining us. If you do want to join us live on air, you'll find the link up above. Just click that link, and you can come and join us in the green room, and we'll just bring you on air. All you need is your mic and your camera on your PC, or if you've got anything better, use that instead. But that's all you need to come live on here today. Now we're going to talk about the actual how Belive works. First of all, Belive is free to use, isn't it, Leland?
Yeah, it's one of the few. Well, there's only a couple that I know of that are anymore, but that's mostly because of the fact that a lot of the platforms we first started with were on a system known as TalkBox, which cost an exorbitant amount of money for the people who developed their programs to use. And that was kind of some of the reasons that one that we don't talk about much anymore that has 4 letters. Everybody doesn't like to say the name. Came about back in the day was Blab. That was one. FireTalk is another. And then we have Huzzah that was purchased by Kickstarter. So now it seems Belive has gone completely away from that format. They've done this development themselves. They've built it from the ground up. So there's not the reliance on a third party to develop this effect, which we have to be able to bring other people into the show. So they've gone one step further and still give it out for free. That's a gracious thing indeed.
It is, and more power to them. And I'm just going to bring on to join us our first guest of the afternoon, or guest of the day, and that's Ali Usman Zafar. Good day to you.
Hello, sir. How are you?
We're good. We are very good. And how are you using Belive.tv? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to share my views on the Belive TV. Hello, sir, to Leland Best. It was really nice to talk to you, and I have got a lot of knowledge from you. So thanks very much about it, and thanks for giving me the chance to express my views.
Oh, you're welcome.
First of all, I would like to appreciate on your efforts for bringing people together on the platform like social media here. Thanks very much, first of all, and God bless you all. Well,
Ali and I met before this show, and this was not set up ahead of time either. I just happened to come across Ali during broadcasts with Rehan Alawala, who is a very influential social individual out in Pakistan. And we have had a large influx of individuals coming in from Pakistan into the live stream environment because they finally have access. And what we're helping them to do is produce their own shows, get their voice out here, learn how to use the cameras, the software. And I've actually put together a small onboarding group for those who are coming in from Pakistan, known as Worldwide Live. So if you need to get something going and want to know how to use this stuff, similar to what Ali wants to do with himself and his constituents, his student friends over there in college, that we will be able to work together, get you up to a level where you can simply go live and get to know people. So Ali, it's been a pleasure getting to know you all this time so far, and which was very little, but I'm looking forward to working together with you in the future. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Indeed.
Yeah, actually, Pakistan, the people are going, they are becoming corporate in Pakistan as well. Well, the use of social media for group matters, for settling group matters and discussing projects group, it's good one. And actually some of my friends were asking me about this Belive.tv. So I told them that it's a very good platform for you to discuss your matters as a group right here. So it is incredible for me. If I say in a single word, it's incredible, and it's a really exceptional kind of platform to discuss your matters here. And if I talk about the different projects we are going to have here, I have got the knowledge that we can go live 3 at a time right here as we are at Belive.tv. So I think it's just a kind of a best thing to communicate with others and to explore your ideas with all the generations, like in Pakistan as well. As I told you earlier, that the Pakistan is growing too much. The people in the past, but they were a little struggling. They are struggling hard enough to get up in the future, inshallah. Michael, you see, I was talking with Michael, you see, last night that being the electrical, you actually suggested me about Michael. You see, he's a nice person.
Yes.
Well, I told him that I'm studying for electrical engineering, and he offered me to have a kind of conversation with a third person as well, including in the conversation about power engineering, about eradicating load shedding from Pakistan, about discussing different projects to eradicate load shedding from Pakistan. So it's kind of, the people are getting interacted from all over the world, and you are discussing your matters with them, and they are giving you the solutions. And just a positivity. It's kind of positivity exploring at social media. And at the end of the day, there is a kind of prosperity everywhere. When you meet someone, when you express your feelings with others, especially in a group, you just feel easy, and you are giving a kind of cold hug to your friends, and at the end of the day, you are giving a positive response to your heart as well.
Absolutely. You and I both. I'm going to let you go ahead and address the community prospects of what we have here at Belive. Go ahead.
I want to take a diversion because I didn't know which way this show was going to go, and I'd like to welcome Kapil, and I'm going to drop down for a moment and bring Kapil on screen, Leland. Okay?
Now he's going to show off. Stephen's going to become the producer of the show and allow us to kind of run the show. So Kapil is another individual that I've known, and we have not met on camera yet. So hello, Kapil. It's a pleasure to have you here on Belive today.
Hi. How are you? Hi, Leland. Hi, Stephen, and hi, Adil.
Now, Kapil, advocate over in the court system in Pakistan. So he is another individual that has some influence over there, obviously. Ali, you're still a student, correct, in engineering? How much longer do you have to finish your college?
Yeah, in 2018, I'm going to finish my bachelor.
Oh, okay. So you've only got another year and a half to go, which shows that, that's one of the things we've noticed as the individuals here in the U.S. when the people from Pakistan are coming live. This is not always just personal plan. This is not just people coming out. These are professionals that want to learn this for a particular purpose, whether it's to communicate with their college friends and build new. I mean, we've got startup companies, and then we've got Kapil, who's an attorney, or they call them advocates over in Pakistan. Can you tell us what you might want to use this system for, Kapil, moving forward?
Okay, just correction first, Leland. I'm from India, not from Pakistan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kapil. I didn't realize that. So
no, we have a very similar accent, and we look alike. So there's nothing like we almost speak the same language. So it's just man-made borders. So nothing like that. Just wanted to correct that. Like I want to use this as a tool for self-expression and obviously for networking. I believe like after email, which was location, like then the blogging came, which is, I understand it's a one-way communication.
Yes.
This is going to be a two-way communication between group of peoples. It's not like Skype. Yeah. Skype was between Skype revolution is one-to-one.
Yes.
But this is dialogue between groups of people.
And what I think,
and if I take it to a different.
Yeah, what's becoming the norm is the group is what we call M2M or multi to multi. It used to be most of these broadcasting platforms were simply a one to many, which meant there was one individual. And a lot of it started with the camera phones, where people would go on places like Periscope and they would talk to people and give their message. And that's really what we instill the most in people who come out to some of these platforms, is to have your message ready. And this allows you to work with others or by yourself still, if necessary, to get that message out to millions of people at one time. And when you collaborate and work together, the message can be even stronger. So what we find is that people like April Roga, who's here in the call today, she talks about there is an opportunity to do more than one-to-one with Skype now, and that is true. And these platforms will continue to develop. But one of the reasons we find it so appealing here at Belive is that this is a broadcasting platform that kind of takes it to the professional level. It gives you the lower thirds. It gives you the screens that you can do your agenda list on the side, and you can bring in the comments like April's just did a moment ago, while Stephen's in the back running the show. I'm not doing anything but sitting here talking with you. And the show goes on because there's production efforts taking place behind the scenes that I don't have to worry about. So that's one of the big pluses here that differs from Skype or, say, Appear-In, which I use regularly for my average business meeting. If I meet with someone, I meet with them on Appear-In because it's private. But when you want to go public and make your message known, you need to have that delivery system, and that's what Belive TV is all about. So I'm really glad to see you guys understand that, and that using that information will be much more powerful to you, and it'll bring your message clearer to the people you want to deliver it to. So I give you kudos. I hope that we can work together and help you guys do it the way that works best. And that's really what we're here for, is to help you as a resource to develop a good show or just a good message in that. So we commend you on that.
I see a message from April which said like Skype can use multiple people, like it has multiple options now. That's there. I'm not like Skype grew one-to-one to
Oh, he's breaking up.
audience. Like,
yeah. Okay. Now, just to explain for a moment, Kapil, if you just excuse me, and I want to speak to Ali. What I'm going to do during the show is I'm going to switch people around. If I could have 5 people on screen at the same time, I would. But there are good reasons why Belive have restricted it to 3, and they're technical reasons, aren't they, Leland? Really?
Oh, absolutely. When you start to get more than 3 people on a show like this, it's all about the bandwidth that's being used by the servers, because of the fact a lot of people don't have connections that are commercial grade. You know, some people are still coming out here with DSL dial-ups are still out there, but not many. The DSL systems can accommodate this, but it takes a pretty good amount of bandwidth to do just one amount of video. And when you start dealing with HD video or high definition video, those signals even increase further. So we really need to understand when we bring people together like this, if you don't have the connectability, the quality.
Sir Leland, please, can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead. We give the round table.
Yeah, actually,
go ahead. What
as you talk about bandwidth, being electrical engineering student, I know about different about frequencies and bandwidth terms. So I have seen that there is a kind of propagation delay. It is right now as well. It was in about 3 days ago when I talked with Sir Stephen Healey. I think there is a kind of need to to make it a kind of better in terms of bandwidth and in terms of to eradicate or to minimize the level of propagation delay, so that we can communicate like a one-on-one meeting at a time. We can we can send our message without any delay. What do you think about it? That it is gonna be will you be successful in minimizing the effect of propagation delay in the future?
Well, that's a question for Zafar and Daniel, because I don't actually run Belive TV. I am simply a broadcaster that uses the software, but I use similar processes. Now, the one thing you'll discover when you're connecting to the API, which is the access used to deliver the message through Facebook, that the delay really takes place there. It's somewhat similar to what we used to have on Google Hangouts. And when we did a broadcast on Hangouts on air, we would have nearly a 30-second to a minute delay where you would broadcast, but you would look over on the screen to see where it was going, and you had to wait a significant amount of time and that was Google controlling that. And it was mostly because the signal had to be processed in various resolutions, because when somebody watches a video, they're on their phone, it used to be you could only get like 360 resolution, which would be like a lower than television broadcast. Then you have standard definition television at 480, which is a good broadcasting medium, but now we're up into 720p, which takes a lot of data to send that type of signal. And the delay isn't because of the data there, it's because of the transposition of the video into several different levels of resolution so that it can be distributed to everybody. Here, we pretty much have the connection to Facebook, which allows 720, but it also has to be processed by Facebook as the signal's delivered. So the short delays that we have now, which are only a few seconds, if you look over at a Facebook page while you're broadcasting, you'll see it's about 5 seconds tops. I'm sure as bandwidth increases and people have the access to higher bandwidths, that will definitely reduce. It's only going to get better. But until we actually see that take place, we're going to have to deal with a small amount of delay in the broadcast. And that's something we have to deal with until then. But I would take that up. We'll talk to Zafar next week and see what he has to say about being able to deliver on that, like you said, instant on communication where it's right there at that moment. We're getting to that point. It's going to take a little while.
Yeah,
anything else, Kapil, you'd like to add to that?
I have few questions.
I'm sorry?
I guess like the bandwidth issue is there.
Yes.
We have to work on very low bandwidths.
Well, it's
Pakistan, Bangladesh, we have low bandwidths. So
You're right.
We require this
And you can see what happens.
bandwidth using software.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to step on you, Kapil, but your signal is breaking up because of the bandwidth, and we're only getting half of what you're saying. And why that is because WebRTC is developed in such a way that as bandwidth reduces, so does the video quality, but the audio can also be affected. And that's not something we have much control over because of the structure of the internet, obviously. It's in control of the signal. So we have to realize that this will happen. What we have to accept is that if we don't have a good connection, we have to allow the show or whoever's on the show to simply say, well, I'm sorry, but today maybe your bandwidth isn't adequate. We can always recommend if you're on Wi-Fi, be as close to the router as you can. We never recommend Wi-Fi at all. We really recommend a hard connection with a wire cable. That works the best because you almost always double your bandwidth immediately simply by plugging your computer into a router rather than using Wi-Fi. Though that's changing. Wi-Fi is increasing in speed all the time, and we have what's called the AC Wi-Fi now, which is giving us much faster speeds, and the 5 gigahertz processing that takes place on a router makes that difference. But it's still coming. There's still a lot of technology that needs to be worked in order to give us that perfect quality broadcast every time.
True. You know, I like new tech. I like trying things out.
And I'm trying not to be techy here.
I've just discovered that there are some new. No, not at all. No, this is brilliant. I've just discovered some new buttons. What the new buttons can do is they can put me on screen. They can put Ali on screen. Hello, Ali.
Ali's going dark over there. He's
right. Okay.
Another important feature too. And
I can put you on screen.
What's your button do? What's your button do?
It just takes one person. Jeff asked for it, and it's the ability to put one person on screen, so that we're still 3 up or 2 up now.
Okay. Yeah, I think we lost Ali due to signal.
Yeah,
because
we did. Right. Okay.
About that signal that we just saw with Ali's class, and just for those of you who saw what just took place, Ali had a very dark environment where he was, and that makes it very difficult for a video signal to be processed. Video needs lighting, and if you don't have good lighting, your video will suffer. So one of the key features, and I think I'll leave a little graphic below Steven's post on his wall that shows a simple 3-point lighting diagram that doesn't have to be fancy. I just turned one of mine off. I don't have studio lighting in here because my studio is so small. What I use are these little LED bulbs that you can buy at any hardware store. They cost about $3 a piece. They're very bright lights, and they don't get very hot because of their LED. They do get a little hot down the bottom to get them to work. But I have 2 mounted in simple standard light fixtures, nothing fancy, no netting, no screening or anything like that, which is typical of a studio environment. But then I have a small dentist light, like a fluorescent dental light with an arm boom over my head. And that gives me all the lighting I need to keep my face shining and looking proper on camera. If you don't do that, you tend to find a lot of shadows, and then the breakup of the signal because of all the black, which is difficult to broadcast, makes it even that much less appealing. So we always recommend high quality lighting on your face so that it looks good on the video.
Yeah, so that people can actually see you. And the sun's shining today, so I've got natural light shining through the window, which is wonderful. And I'm going to welcome Ali back with us, and it looks a bit brighter over there. Welcome back. Now, for those of you new to Belive.tv, I want to say that it's free. Okay, and it's free to use. All you need is your camera and your microphone and good lighting, as Linda's just mentioned, and you can then go one person on screen. Now, when you go one person on screen, it's just you. You're broadcasting to an audience on Facebook, but it's very important to interact, isn't it?
Yes. And not only that, just to mention one last thing about lighting, and Stephen brought it up because he mentioned natural lighting, windows and such. And Ali, I'm not criticizing your video at all. I never do this. And if I see people ever criticize a video broadcast, I remove the post immediately. I remove the comment because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to criticize everybody's broadcast because yours is better than this or that's better than that. There's no place for that here. But one thing we try to do is help recommend what makes it look better. The lighting should never be behind you. The lighting should always be in front of you. And any natural lighting, I'm just getting up like that light up there you've got. It's better to turn around. There you go. Perfect. Okay. And natural lighting in windows, it's never good to have a window in the scene because the lighting just glares the camera lens and causes poor effects. So I just wanted that to be known while we're here to do the show.
Yeah, I mean, the question is...
Ali would like to say anything. He hasn't had a chance to speak much since he's been on here. But Ali, what do you think about what we're delivering to you today?
Well, I would like to recommend the same software to my friends, that we must go with this software so that they can accomplish their goals, so that they can communicate easily with others and solve their party matters, kind of projects, etc. And furthermore, I would like to recommend my friends that we must communicate with each other so that the people can see us, so that we can find more suggestions, more feedback, and more kind of solutions, so that we can get solutions to our matters. Because when we are just talking with a single person, for example, I am talking with a single person at a single room, just I am having the mind of my friend only. But if I am doing the same thing to the whole world, then I'm getting solutions from all over the world. And it's fantastic thing, by the way, if we realize it. It's a fantastic kind of thing. So we must not really, we must expose ourselves to the world, that we can do something, we can accomplish our goals. We need your ideas, we need your feedback. So we must expose ourselves to the world. As Michael Yusi just told me that he has some kind of solutions to eradicate load shedding from Pakistan. And this is how I got idea. This is just because I connected with him. I just mind connected with him. And he also sent me a few other friends to connect with them to find other solutions for that matter.
Stephen, you address that because I know you know all too well what he's talking about here. Well, when I say that, I mean community and the ability to...
Oh, right. Okay. It is...
Better on the purpose of... Sorry. For.
Yeah, I was just doing my producer duties.
Oh,
okay. I'd just like to say hello to Bill. Bill will be with you in a moment. Nice for you to join us. Yeah, this is a chance to build community and network. It's not about selling. It's not about a webinar. It's not about marketing as such. Everything we do, we are building trust and getting to know people. And people, if the best thing in the world is when somebody asks you about what you do and asks you about your products. Now, that doesn't come about just by saying, this is what I do. It comes about by listening to people and interacting with people. And I just want to take a moment to bring Bill on screen. Ali, if you've given me for a moment, I will bring you back, but I'll just bring you.
Okay. It's called a round robin. We bring people in and out all the time as we roll through these kinds of shows. And
good day, Bill.
Hello.
Hello. Am I here?
Yes, you're here.
I am live?
You are live.
Oh, I can't.
Not seeing yourself on the Belive.
I can see it on the Belive screen, but if I go to the web, there I am. I take it back because of that delay thingy. Got it. Well, hi guys. I'm kind of in and out of this only because I had to take a shower because I'm doing my own show in about 30 minutes, and
I haven't taken one yet.
I can tell all the way from here. I can tell, but I just had to step in for 1 second and get kind of warmed up and tell you guys you're doing a wonderful job. And I wanted to comment because I think we all see this thing as something a little. It's like an elephant, It's got different size and looks different to different people.
Sure.
And same here with me on Belive. I look at it differently. I think community is one part of it and a large part of it, but I see it also as this incredible teaching tool where we can do. I'm going to find a word for it. I'm going to call it collaborative teaching.
Yes.
We can kind of come together and learn from each other or be taught. And I had a session last night as an example, which was a great learning experience. in a harsh way. Nothing worked right, and I had experience to overcome it. And luckily, I had a guest, Stephen, who salvaged it and pulled it all together. But I think it's a tremendous vehicle. I'm awfully excited about it, and I don't have nearly the experience that you guys do as other products. I used Blab a little bit when it was first out, but that's all. But I see this for a couple of initiatives I'm involved in. One is a community for a disease that I'm part of and awesome. Advocating, and I see that as a big part. And then I see business-wise, it's one of those. It's like watching an elephant gestate. I've been working on it forever. On a course curriculum.
Or a giraffe ready to have a baby, one of those two.
The baby is due any day now, but any day now has been about 2 years.
Exactly.
But so I see it for that too. But I see it for lots and lots of things. And here we are. And I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I know where you're at. You're in Wiltshire. Where are you at?
I'm in Michigan, just north. I'm just east of the capital, which is Lansing, and in between Flint and Lansing. So I'm just north of Detroit, about an hour and a half, about in the center of we always do it like this. I'm right about there.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think it's marvelous. Here we are, 3 guys, different parts of the world, and holding a conversation that we don't know who is listening to or commenting on or thinking about, and they have the ability to jump in and jump out as well. So I just think it's incredible technology, just incredible.
And that's part of the difference, Bill, from what's been going on. It is Bill, right? I want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. Sometimes people run through these screens, you never know. The biggest difference that took place versus things like Skype and Appear-In, where they were private rooms, not only is this a broadcasting tool, but since the advent of the connecting API to Facebook's commenting, which allows us to interact with the audience itself, and then say, okay, we heard your question, but we're not totally sure what you mean. Would you like to come on camera and explain it to us? That gives us that extra step and that extra connectivity to the person's desire or whatever need they might have, so that we can get the proper answer to the question.
No question. It's a marvelous technology. Yeah, just marvelous. Listen, I have to jump out. I just want to jump in for a second to make sure my stuff was all working right, and it seems to be. And thank you for that opportunity, and good luck to all of you. And this has been a fun experience.
Your video looks great, by the way, Bill. So we're looking forward to more shows in the future. All right.
Good luck,
thanks, guys.
Good luck, Bill. Take care.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye. A gentleman. And now it's back. Welcome back, Ali. I was fortunate enough last night. I did a show at 11 p.m. Leland, which is a first for me. I was on Bill's show, and it was good fun. I came away feeling like I'd made new friends, and that's the best thing that you can take away from a broadcast. And we met Ali today.
Ali, what do you intend to use this platform for? Being an electrical engineer, are you looking to collaborate on design processes, or what are your constituents going to use this for?
Well, being electrical engineering, electrical engineering is a vast field, especially in a country like Pakistan, where the Pakistan is struggling for getting more power from renewable energy sources, and by using non-conventional methods other than hydraulic, nuclear, and thermal power plants. Pakistan is striving hard to get power from non-conventional methods, so that their initial cost is low and initial cost is high and operating cost is low. Pakistan is striving hard to get energy from that resources. So in that case, we have to pay more cost if we want to initiate this kind of project.
Initial cost is high.
Well, I want
operating cost is low.
just want to see that how can we find a kind of ideas from different kind of people that can tell us that we can get electrical energy in a low cost from the low initial cost.
Right.
From the low initial cost, how can we get energy from the low cost projects, initial low cost product?
So it's a collaboration tool.
And brainstorming.
We have a lot of background noise, and this is something we kind of have to avoid in these broadcasts.
Right. If you excuse me for a moment, Ali, I'm going to bring you back in a minute, and I'd just like to say hello again to Kapil. Hello. Kapil, do you have Facebook open?
Let's keep the Facebook page open.
Right. If you can close the Facebook page, we'll be okay.
Switch him out for a second. I'll explain something. Stephen, all right.
Yeah, okay.
What you just experienced is a simple thing that can be corrected. Usually what happens is people want to see themselves on Facebook as they're broadcasting. And what develops is an echo chamber because you're sending out a signal and then getting a return signal that goes back into the microphone. And the way to avoid that, there's two things. One, don't worry about the Facebook broadcast and just do the broadcast here on Belive and continue on, or mute the tab for the browser. Simply hover your mouse over the browser tab, right-click on it, and you'll see a menu pop up, and one of those items is a mute button. That allows you to mute the audio of the broadcast coming through Facebook, which allows you to watch it and the comments if you need to, if you feel that's a desire you have, but then at least you're not echoing back into the broadcast. Or, headphones aren't going to help that in most cases because it's still going to loop into the system through your computer audio if you're connected that way. So you got to be careful with that regard. We're just trying to give you guys points because it just makes the show so terribly much.
Yeah, and we lost Kapil through he's disappeared again. So I think we're getting towards the end of this session, Ali. So if you'd like to come on camera and you say thank you to everybody, and we'll see you on the next show.
And the parting words, and we'll call this a show for today. Thanks, Ali. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the platform to express my views.
And keep in touch with me. Obviously, we've already connected on the back end of Facebook. Feel free to get a hold of me anytime.
Yeah, in the end, I would like to add a single line with you that it's a kind of a hell fun to chat live, because some people are there who have a kind of phobia to face camera and to come in front of people, and it's going to replenish their kind of hesitation to come up to the people. So it's kind of a fun. Like some people do like to come up to camera and show themselves, and so I think it's kind of enjoyment too as well. You can do anything on becoming live.
This kind of process helps an individual build self-confidence. It really does. To be believe me, I've been on camera nervous as a rabbit in a box, out in the woods. I need to know that I'm comfortable with what I do, and it took a while to get here. But it's just do it over and over. The more you practice, the better you get. It's just like anything.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, I'm new also, and my body is really vibrating enough. Well, I am controlling my emotions.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
We know how
Thank you very much.
We know how you feel. We've done probably about 200 shows each, and it's only after you've done a lot of shows that you actually feel calm about it. We still look forward to the show. We look forward to meeting new people. It's been a pleasure to see you today, Ali, and take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Soon, Ali.
Allah.
Right, now, you remember at the top of the show, before we came on air, I said I've got a script.
Yeah, right.
I still have that script.
Doesn't happen. I wanted to bring one thing out here, though, too, Stephen, that we talked about that we didn't get to address, and that is the fact that what you see on the broadcast is not necessarily what the person coming on camera sees. So I'm going to give you guys an example from the back end by simply showing you my other desktop. This is what I see when I broadcast, or when I come into the show. So you see Stephen. Now you're seeing Stephen down there in the corner, which would be where I would be located, only because my camera is being replaced by my monitor. So it's not me on camera, obviously, but that's where I would be, is in that little corner. Those small bands of gray that you see to the sides of Stephen's head, that tells you that you're in a vertical view that is a little bit condensed, so that you have to make sure you center yourself into that little square of light where Stephen is located. If you go into those gray areas, you're going to get lost and people are not going to be able to see you. Now you should be able to see it okay. Is this? No, you won't be able to.
We're back. That was a good illustration of what the difference, because when you are on Belive as a guest, it's totally different from actually running the show. And yes, that was a good representation of it. And as I was saying, I had a script today, and the script's gone away, and now people are talking to each other, which is good. We want this conversation to go on. And well, it's been the most enjoyable 40 minutes.
Absolutely. That was fast. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Meeting new people, talking about new things. And as I didn't actually start, we didn't actually get started on what we're going to talk about. We may well be back. But
oh, that's a good one, Kapil. I'd like to, can we address that real quick?
Sure. No, I'm not rushing.
Okay. When it comes to technology and failures, which is obviously, we do experience that all the time. We never know when there's going to be a hiccup on the show and something's just going to go awry and we're not going to be able to see what's happening. Just remember, you're in the same boat we are. We don't have any control over that except for to let the show go on. So you continue to talk, or you wait until the audio or video fixes itself, or you simply, the thing is to just relax is the biggest thing. Don't let it upset you, because it's still technology in the making. This is all infancy. This is growing pains. We have to accept the growing pains. So just learn to be calm and not express too much frustration when these things happen, and just realize that we all go through this in broadcasting live to the internet right now. And as this gets better, so will the technology. So we will be more comfortable knowing that it will be stable and we can rely on it more often. Until that time comes, we just have to accept the fact that it will grow, and we need to be calm. And like those memes you see all the time, keep calm and stream on. Let's do it that way.
Keep calm and stream on. I like that. We'll have to adopt that as our motto. Okay. Keep calm and stream on in the UK. Then I'll take that one. Right. No, I'm only teasing. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that as Linda just said, this technology isn't perfect. It's getting better every day, we've got to say. It's a lot better than it was when we first started broadcasting.
Oh, for sure.
Well, broadcasting out to Facebook, it's improved. The quality of the video has improved. The sound quality has improved as well. And what you need is a Robert C. Stern, and then everything will go well. Robert, if you want to join us for a couple of minutes, then the link is up above.
And I like that Kapil compared this to installing 3.1 Windows on DOS. Stephen and I remember those days. Most of the people who are coming onto the internet now don't even know what DOS is, and that was the disk operating system that was in place before Windows was ever developed. And we, as users back then, when we received our little 3.5-inch floppy disks of Windows 3.1, we were like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And we had a graphical user interface for the very first time. So. That's Robert. What's up,
dude?
No, don't do that. We're international.
Well, because you know what it is. Every time I go to come on, Leland jumps off. So this is like the first time in a long time that Leland stayed on camera with me.
No, I'm usually busy enough that Robert does show up toward the end of the show, and I have to take off. But I have to send at least out a Chag Sameach Pesach to my friend over there. You're in New York, right, or New Jersey?
I'm right outside New York City. I'm 20 miles outside, but in the Jersey side.
Okay, that's it.
New Jersey's the only state that allows me to hear it right now.
Yes. What I did is I simply offered Robert a happy Passover blessing in Hebrew. So that just is one of those things that we can now do when we meet and connect up here on these kind of platforms.
Where's my matzah?
Right. And that's the wonderful thing, too, Robert. Honestly, I've had more of a pleasurable experience dealing with the folks in Pakistan, because what we see on mainstream media is not correct in all cases. And I fathom to say this because it's very important. These people want to connect with the world. They are very pleasurable, loving people that, just like you and I, want to get together, learn new things, try new things, study new things. So I can only push that to those who aren't familiar with that culture get to learn that culture.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Sorry, Robert. This is a way to join the real world rather than the political world. And it's a way to meet people of all religions, all colours, all creeds, can meet up.
I'm sorry, did you say all creeps or all creeds? Oh, okay, just checking.
It's an English word. CREED with an S on the end.
Oh, that one. Okay.
That one.
No, listen, Stephen Leland, I've known you for
we've
known each other 2 years since Blab.
Yeah.
And Stephen, I got to know more and more. I knew a little bit, I think, at Blab, but more and more, obviously, with the LVS 2017 and with Belive. And, live streaming is a big part of my life since the Meerkat days started.
Oh, yeah.
And what Belive is doing is great because I had one last week. I did an interview, and Stephen, I know you know a little bit about it. I did the one with American Sign Language.
Yes,
music interpreters, and that thing is creeping up on almost 6,000 views, and it's such a niche thing.
Yeah,
and I got another one set for today. I got these 2 reporters I got coming on at 3 Eastern from LA, and they've started a new show called hashtag Rehash.
Oh,
go over the top trending things of the day, but they do it in a comedic way. So I saw them 2 days ago. I said, hey, you want to come on for an interview? They said yes, so we're doing it today. So I already have it scheduled on Belive to have the 2 of them live, and people can come on. They're out of LA. They're hysterical too.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert, you need to connect with these people in Pakistan, because I did a video with Ani Alexander and Nazim Beltran. Ani's in London and Nazim's in Milan, Italy. Within the first 12 hours, we had 4,200 views on our video.
Oh yeah.
They want to see this stuff, and it was literally within a few hours we had so many views on our video because it almost went. I felt like it was going viral. I was like, "Wow, this is just a talk show." But people are very hungry for this. A lot of people are very
extremely. And the thing is, everybody's like kept up on the numbers. And Leland, you and I have had more discussions than we can discuss in the past 2 years about looking into the numbers, about the likes and the follows and all this stuff. The thing with Facebook is that, yes, the more views you tend to have on them, the more that it'll push it out, because that's just their algorithm style. But I think people forget it doesn't mean a 3-second view. It doesn't necessarily mean a 10-second view. It might mean a 30-second or minute-long view that people have to have been watching to be able to push it out. So when we look at these numbers, when I even, impressed myself, 5,600 views, 5,000 of those views could have been for 3 seconds.
Oh,
we don't always know.
Yeah. Well, you can now, because you do have access to a lot more of the information. And what I discovered with that,
you can do it on your business page.
Yeah, only if you do it on your business page. That's correct. And that is something we do recommend for that reason, and that reason alone is you will get more reach usually on your profile. But if you do prepare what's called used to be called a fan page. Now it's kind of a business page, but you can have a brand page, whatever you want to call it. Gives you more features for the video creation and production and control. And it also gives you the analytics so that you can see where your video is going, where it's been, how much. Like that same video I just spoke of, there were about 200 10-second views, but we actually had 535 minutes of viewing time. So that was huge. That was like, there were so many people that actually watched the whole show, and it was only a 30-minute broadcast. And if you
I did that one on my business page, so I'm definitely going to dive into the analytics. It's been 1 week now. I wanted to give it a full week, and now I want to go look at the analytics of it.
Yeah. And that's not something for the newbie. They don't really need to concern themselves over any of that. All we want you to do is get out there and broadcast, be yourself, give her your message, and the numbers will come later. We don't have to worry about that.
That's right. I mean, one of the primary reasons, I just want to say hello to Brandon, Roy, Irene, Tina, April.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us today. And Brandon. Good afternoon, Brandon. Or good day, Brandon.
Good question.
How are we getting... Okay, I'll put the question up again.
Yeah, you want to know how we're doing the 3-person, Stephen?
Yeah. You want to answer that?
Right. Yeah. We'll do it together. Right. This is Belive Talk Show, which is currently in beta. And what you need to do is just apply on the belive.tv page. Tell them you want to use the talk show format and why, what you're going to use it for, and then you'll get into the queue for the Belive beta. And
yeah, not everybody has it right now, so don't concern yourselves over like you weren't selected or you're not good enough for it. It's not that at all. We're still beating the bush, you might say, or pounding the pan, trying to make sure that we get all the bugs out of it. So that's why it's been delivered to a few specific individuals so far, though I think they're probably up to at least 25 to 50 people that are using it now, aren't they, Stephen?
Yeah, they do a release every Monday.
I've been using the three-person, the talk show view now. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Now, one thing to comment on, though, we did a show Monday night with Go Live Geeks, and Tina's here in the comment section today in the audience. We discovered that if you do not have three people in a talk show format, you lose some of the capabilities. So you're better off if you only have like one guest and it's just going to be you interviewing one guest, use the face-to-face. Or if you're just broadcasting yourself, use the Q&A. Use it for what it was built for. So if you're going to do a talk show, make sure you have three people. That way you get all the features available to you. And
you know how quickly this moves. They made a change today. And if you did have three people on screen, you can now go and show two people on screen, and you can show one person on screen.
That's what she just said. It. Nice.
That only changed today. Yeah.
I take that back then.
No. Right, okay. I'm going to step out for a moment. I'm going to let Tina pop in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've been starting to do a little bit, I do use the talk show feature a little more, because if I come on as myself, I sometimes want to bring somebody on to the conversation. So if I go on Q&A, you don't have that option. So I tend to sometimes plan them more as the talk show, because just in case somebody says, hey, can I join? Like the old Blab days, Leland, you have the ability to bring them in. So it's an interesting thing.
Exactly. And that's what I said when I thought that some of the features had gone away. It's like I like to have the option to bring someone else in, even if I only have myself and another guest. But Leland, I think that they changed the format and didn't take away the feature. It's just different now. So now it has a little button that says solo. And so if you click that, it'll put the one person on there. And then there's also this feature when you have people in the lobby, there's like these three dots. And if you hover over them, you get some options. One of them's block. So you can actually block people from coming into your lobby.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
But another one looks like like the little magnifying glass for search. But if you click on that, you can hear the person in the lobby.
Oh, beautiful. I've been waiting.
So they keep just adding all these features. And so I kind of panicked because I thought, oh no, that's gone. And I really liked that, but it wasn't gone. It just changed. So that was what I asked when I came in initially was, have you guys talked about the changes, the new features, or the changes in the features? Because I came in late to the show. So
that's awesome. And I just saw April.
Excuse me, Robert.
Yeah, I saw April's comment on the whole feature where you can talk individually one-on-one quietly, or what we would normally call that in circles of chatting online, like an IRC, would be called a whisper, where you're actually communicating during the broadcast that you're having outside of that conversation, and nobody else hears it. So we call it a whisper.
Indeed, yes. Now, this is a special occasion because Tina and I are on the same show again.
Yay, finally!
We've been threatening for 2 weeks to get together, and this is the first time I've had a chance to. Yeah, it's been...
I'd like to say, Stephen, I'm at a point at time now where I do have to leave the show. So if you guys want to continue on a little bit with someone else and take my spot, I'd be happy to give my seat up. And that's the lovely thing about this platform is people step in, step out. But I do have to roll, and I've had a ball. This has been a great day on E5 today. So Tina, thanks for coming in. And Robert and all the others like Ali and Kapil, we do appreciate you participating. Again, for those who are onboarding from Pakistan, I do have a somewhat separate group established known as Worldwide Live. just get a hold of me. That will help get you a little more connection directly with those involved with live streaming, and then we'll move you into other places. There's tons of groups out there that you can be involved in. We're just trying to get those who are really fresh and brand new to this to understand that there are some certain etiquettes and processes that need to be followed to make for a good live show, and we're hoping to teach them that first off and then let them move on from there. All right, guys. So we'll see you in the next live.
Take care, Leland. See you later.
Thanks, Leland. Bye.
And as Leland leaves, Robert joins us. Right.
I made sure I was looking up and not looking at my camera. I was like, what?
Well, what I've decided, what I try to do, if somebody joins in lobby or the green room, as we call it when we're being posh, then I actually try and sort of type a message saying, I'll bring you on screen in 3 minutes or so. Because that's the only way you can communicate, really. Because it's difficult if I start saying, well, I'm going to bring Bob and Fred and Harry in, then it spoils the flow of the broadcast a little bit. But I would like to thank Ali, who joined us today, and Kapil, who came in as well. It's been quite a show. I mean, this was just an idea. The basic idea, principle being, as Leland observed at the beginning of the show, a lot of people have joined Belive.tv and started using it in the last couple of weeks. And this show is designed to help. Simple as that. And I had a script. I had it all written down. I was going to do Q&A, face-to-face talk show. And then people started joining in. So I've not
out the window.
Out the window. The script stays out the window until next week.
Live. That's what live is all about. You can come on with an intention, which I teach all the time in social media. You need to use your social media intentionally. Why are you doing? What are you doing? But when you go live, you could be as intentional and have the purpose of what you want to do. And in a matter of seconds, I know Tina knows this, it could be all turned into, and all of a sudden somebody took a fork and went the other direction. And it's like 2 minutes into the conversation, like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I feel like we should rename our show like the ADD show, because we're all over the place all the time. There's always an intention going on, but we just,
and you have to loop
we go with
it back to bring it back to where you want to go. It's like,
occasionally we bring it back.
That's right. There are certain people, when I'm doing interviews, there are certain people, you give them a couple of words, and then 10 minutes later, you've got to try and bring them back onto the topic. And it's great fun. I mean, it's what makes live is that you can go off on tangents and talk about anything and everything, and then come back to the central theme.
Like I have that interview thing today, like I said, with that couple from LA. I don't know where it's going to go. One of them's a comedian. I can have all the intentions that I want. They can take it in any direction they want.
Tell us again what time that is.
It's 3:00 Eastern. It's actually, I'm doing this one on my profile page. I'm not doing it on my business page. So It's already scheduled. It's got the schedule on it and everything else. And they have like 200 episodes already up on YouTube. And the name of their show is called #Rehash. And it's hysterical. I mean, it's funny, but they talk about, this is the reporter. It's a husband-wife. The male is the reporter that did the story about the Airbnb customer that was taken out at last second, saying because she was Asian or something else. Yep. Remember that thing that went viral? He's the one who reported it originally. He met them on the road and filmed it because she didn't know why this girl was crying on the phone. And then it hung in his phone for maybe 2-3 weeks because he had to do other stuff. And then he brought it in. So this is the reporter that did that, but he does all these things. They did one on United yesterday.
Well, I look forward to seeing that one. In fact, there was a good broadcast yesterday, if you catch it, in LVS 17, and it was all about trying to explain what happened at United, what went wrong, what went right. But that's just like to say hello to the boss.
A lot went wrong.
Press the wrong one.
A lot went wrong. United. Let's put it that way. A lot went wrong, and that's all we can say. But there's another side to the story that a lot of people don't understand, and today's show actually covered it today.
Right.
There's always more than one side, but you know.
No, not about that. About a lot of people don't understand when you buy an airline ticket and you accept certain things, there's a 60-page document about what you need to do or you could be thrown off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is treated like a ship. The captain of a ship is in charge of the ship while it's at sea. He is sovereign. It's his territory. And the same was adopted by the airline industry. And the captain of a plane can say who can stay on the plane and who can come on the plane. He's got the final say. He's responsible for the safety of everybody on board. And if he says that a single person's got to leave the seat, even if he is guided by a computer, then we have to abide by that. And that's the law. That's the law. Whatever the moral stance may be, that is the law.
This is going to linger for a while because there's going to be, it was the way that things were done. It's not the fact that it was done. It's the way it was done. And it's going to linger. It's also going to show how important social media is taking play.
It is. Yeah. Well, am I the only person that thought it was ridiculous that the guy didn't just get up and walk?
Actually, no, because learning from him afterwards, he's a doctor and he had patients he had to see at 8 o'clock the next morning and they wouldn't fly him until the next morning.
I understand his position.
I would have said, give me $2,000.
Now, I would have said, find me. I would have said something. Don't get me wrong. I would have been unhappy. But I couldn't imagine allowing myself to be dragged off like a child. I would have just walked out and I would have handled it after the fact.
Yeah, but you want to know what? This guy's going to make a lot of money on it.
Yeah, and I think that's what he knew.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. The lawsuit, him getting pulled off and bloodied and filmed. I was actually shocked nobody was live streaming it.
Yeah. Oh.
Think what would happen if they had.
Look live. Look what's going on. Bam.
No, that's never going to happen. Right, now, you've promoted your show. I think it's only fair that there's a new initiative that Tina started about live broadcasting and shows. Would you like to explain it, Tina?
Yes, the TV Live Guide.
Yep.
Is that, yeah. Just started a Facebook page, and I'm still really trying to figure out the best way to present the information and to gather it. So I put just a Google form out for people to submit their shows, and then I can take that and just with one click turn it into a spreadsheet. So then I can, have it sorted by date. So then I can just go in and pull those out. And right now I'm using notes on Facebook to format, put the shows in for each day. Eventually I will probably have a website and kind of an old fashioned TV guide look. So you can actually go down by the day and the time and see what's streaming at that time. But that's going to take a little doing. So, and this is a side project that I'm just doing when I have time. So bear with me. But yeah, I miss so many great shows because I don't know that they're going on. It's not necessarily because I'm busy. I just didn't know they were happening. And so this is for me as much as for everybody else.
You want to know a cheap way to catch up every night? What's going to be scheduled for the next day?
Yes.
Yes. Put in the search function on Facebook, Be Live.
Okay.
It will bring up anything that's got the term Be Live on it. And if people are smart, when you put in your schedule, put in the subject line that this is a Be Live. Because then when somebody does a search under Be Live, it'll pull up everything that was posted that day or in the past with the word Be Live in it, and you can see the scheduled shows for the next day.
Yeah, in fact, there is a Be Live hashtag, isn't there? Not just the name Be Live. What is it to remind us?
Yeah, it's hashtag Be Live. It doesn't have the TV in it, so it's just hashtag Be Live. But so I mean that would be another way for me to find shows that people haven't submitted yet. I've kind of steered clear of that because maybe for some reason someone wouldn't want their show included in the guide. I don't know why that would be because presumably you want people to see it, right?
That's a possibility. If you could have a situation where people don't want anybody outside, well, they know who's going to see it. Mm-hmm. When I go public, I know roughly who's going to watch it. And I'm always glad when somebody I don't expect turns up. But it's done with some expectation. And where you've got to, with the form that you fill in, which is easy and straightforward, you just put the title of the show, your email address, when you're on, time you're on, and whether it's weekly or not. And if it's weekly, it will repeat, won't it?
Yes, yeah. So you can select whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, whatever your time frame is for it, and that way I know to repeat it the next week. And a lot of times, there was, what was it, Journey? Oh my gosh, he's gonna shoot me for not being able to remember the name. But anyway, it's a travel type show that T. Allen does with a friend of his, and I completely missed it yesterday. They didn't submit it. I guess maybe it was just something they decided to do, and so it wasn't submitted. And so I missed it, but I was able to find out like an hour or two beforehand. And since we are digital, I could go ahead and add it to the guide. It's not a, even though it's just a couple hours out, I could still add it in, which is nice. So if anybody's watching, and go to, to search TV Live Guide and send me your information, I'll put it in the guide. I'm trying to collect as many as I can.
Yeah, my shows, they're so sporadic. I don't have a set time day.
And that's true for most people, I think, right now.
It's called
it is, yeah.
Live, but my interview series, but I never know when I'm going to have them.
Yeah, and that's tough when you do have a set schedule. It's nice for us to have a set schedule because then we know, what our day looks like. But it's not always the best situation for the guests that we want to have on because we're in so many different time zones. I'm like, can you be here at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time? Oh, well, that's like 4 a.m. for me, so no.
It's not even just that. It's also that maybe they're not available and you really want them on your show and you have to move your show for them.
Right.
I mean, that's especially true. I mean, at the moment, as Leland said earlier, a lot of people from Pakistan are actually coming on, and they're 9 hours ahead of you guys.
Something like that, yeah.
So scheduling the show becomes very difficult. I was going to say something else then, but I said very difficult instead. Right, now, incredibly, Jeff just came in as we were discussing United Airlines and said it was a good topic. We actually started this show 66 minutes ago, Jeff. We've been talking about everything. Leland and I started off talking about Belive.tv, and we're joined by Kapil and Ali, and then we've been joined by Robert and Tina, and it's been a brilliant 70 minutes. But I want to go out in the sun. I've got to get some sun today. So, guys, thank you to everybody who's watched. This has been such a success. We'll be back at the same time next week. And we'll see how it goes. And it's just a chance for everybody to get together, to talk, to promote Belive TV, to get questions answered. A bit more relaxed. It's not as fast-paced. And I just want to correct one thing. When I said that Jeff Adams was the boss, he's the boss of the Monday night show. Okay. Which is where I live. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern, is the official Belive TV show with Jeff Adams. So, Robert and Tina, thank you for joining us today. Joining me today, because Leland left. No. Shout out for Leland for joining me earlier. And if you want to give some parting words, and then we'll close down for this week and be back next week.
Bye, thank you.
Right.
Take care, everybody.
So it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Robert. Goodbye from Tina. We'll see you all again next week. Thank you very much for watching. You bring the show to life. We've enjoyed your comments. We've enjoyed watching and listening. And look forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care for now. Goodbye.